Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. A well-rounded man can talk about many topics. This is very important because one of the main things that a man has to have when dealing with women is conversation skills. You know, because there's certain basics you gotta have in this thing of ours we call game. Or if you don't like the word game, your strategy. If you don't like the word strategy, just normally what it will make you successful in getting women. Whatever term you want to use. And remember, there's certain pillars. There's 4 pillars. Let me shout out Master Teacher BGS Ibmore for breaking it down to the 4 pillars. You know, there's the environment that you're in. That's very important. Where you talking to them at. But then you got to have a good bait, right? You got to have a good bait. And I'll skip over the main one, but you also got to, when you actually get them in the bedroom, you got to knock them out the box. Okay, fine. All those things are important. But the very important thing is the conversation skills. I remember coming up, the thing that you learn from the old school players or the guys at least, you know, successful enough with women to get them a very good, attractive woman, was they were like, you got to go over there and talk. They ain't say you got to give them any lines. Just have a regular conversation, right? So that's very important. So, but then if you have a conversation with them, or if we get a little ghetto about it, conversate with them, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? Now, something I talked about in my book, Nice Guys and Players, was reading up on different things. Reading up on different topics. Right? Now, I remember I had a review like years ago. This is about 2002, 2003. Somebody said, it was like, oh, he said read some books. Yeah, it was a typical dumbass, didn't know anything. Because, first of all, they didn't read the comment right. Because I say not just read the books, but then you have something to talk about. Right? Now, in order to get there, you have to be well-rounded. Because it's even bigger than just reading about different things. That's helpful, but you gotta be well-rounded. You know, you got too many dudes out here having trouble talking to women, but if you actually have a conversation with them, you actually talk to them, what are they talking about? They talking about, they can talk about maybe 1 or 2 things that they learned talking about secondhand or something, you know, but nothing else. And there's a lot of guys. I've talked to a lot of women. There's a lot of guys. If you start switching up that convo with them, or the woman starts switching it up, or you know, and she don't want to talk about it, boom. Like even if you got guys out here, like I was other day I was watching some videos. You know, some of these guys up here be approaching or really faking approaching women on the street with a camera right there and all of that. I ain't gonna get into that part, but here's the reality. Even if no matter what, you got to be able to talk to that woman. No matter what. You got to be able to have a conversation beyond, oh, yeah, the weather's nice. That's a good opener, you know. But the more things that you got, the more things you can talk about her about. Talk about with her about, not talk about her. Lord, don't do that. But the more topics that you have, the more subjects you can talk about, that actually opens up your pool of women that you can have an intelligent conversation with. But in order to get there, you got to be well-rounded. You can't just be stuck in one area. You got to be that person who can say, you know what, you got to be that person who can say, I can talk about politics. I can have an intelligent conversation about religion. Though I wouldn't start off with those, but I'm using those as an example. But it might get to that point with some women. You know, she might be real spiritual or something. You might shoot. She want to know who you worshiping, you know. You know, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Great Pumpkin, Big Rom. You know, she might want to talk about that. You got to be able to talk about it. Or, you know, she might be more creative. If you that type got a creative bone in you, boom. Like there's a young lady, and she knows who she is. She was telling me, guys would tell her that she's they were creative just like she is. And she said, oh, what you into? And they'd be like, But if they were actually into writing or something like that, it was like, oh, okay, you got something. Because the more things that you have, the more you can connect. Because understand, when women are having that conversation, they're looking for an emotional connection. They looking for something to create rapport over. You know, and I know some dudes just think they just some women just sitting around not doing anything, but no, no. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's deep to the point. The more well-rounded you are, the more subjects that you're familiar with, you might have tried or at least have an intelligent opinion of. It even helps you out when you have no idea about the subject. Now people will say, well, how is that, Rom? All right, I'll use an example. I've had intelligent conversations with women off of stuff I had no idea existed until they mentioned it. Right? No idea, because then they say, I don't know, they study the mating habits of butterflies, which I know nothing about. I'm just using it as an example. Instead of saying, oh, I don't know anything, I would ask intelligent questions. And I'm going to tell you how that works. If you're having a conversation with a woman and you put her in a spot where she can explain what she's passionate about, what she know about, that actually makes her feel good. And all you doing is sitting there listening. And all you saying, yeah, and then ask her an intelligent question when she say something. Whenever people tell me something, I automatically pick up on what they say. And then when they say something specific, I'm like, oh, that I don't know about it, I ask them some more. So then the woman's feeling good. She's feeling good because she get to share what she knows. And you're sitting there just listening. You sitting there listening. You're not talking about yourself or anything. It actually makes her feel a certain way. She's like, oh, this guy's actually listening to me. You could be average looking to her, but you sitting there listening and giving her eye contact, paying attention, not looking at your watch or your phone or something. Boom. But see, the truly well-rounded man, he'd want to know. He will want to know anyway because he already got a curiosity about a lot of things. He already has an intelligence about a lot of things. And I had said this before. I said today I can't learn something new. Or if I go like get to a point and nothing I learn is new, that's when I ain't going to want to live anymore. But I say there's so much to learn because, I can't explain quantum physics in Mandarin Chinese. So that means I always had something I got to learn Mandarin Chinese, which actually I was learning a little bit of, but that was another story. And I just really don't know quantum physics beyond just some extreme basics. So I'm like, shoot, I got more. But then if I met somebody, like, I use a Chinese example. Because I've known some native Mandarin Chinese speakers, and they would teach me a little bit of stuff. Boom. They smiling because I'm making an effort to learn their language. Boom. And that's the conversation skills. But in order to get there, the more well-rounded you are, the more curiosity you have for stuff, the more you can ask intelligent questions, the more you can learn how to listen. It's powerful. It is that powerful. And let's take it beyond just the women for a second. Let's take it beyond the women for a second. And this is something I might get. Yeah, I might do another podcast on it or get into it on my Deep Thought channel. If you're a well-rounded man, you know all this stuff. That's power. What they say, knowledge is power. Really, knowledge applied is power. But if you have knowledge of stuff, you can go through everything. Like even this pandemic right now. Reason why I don't get upset about many things or really fall for all the rumors flying about is just because of my knowledge of certain things. And my knowledge says, oh, this the real deal, or this what you should be paying attention to, or this what else is happening. So having an interest in those particular areas is actually helping me in this area that has nothing to do with women. But this channel is about relating men developing themselves with women. Let's just be real about it. If I want to do something strictly just for men, they don't have anything to do with the women part. Well, I actually listen more to my Deep Thought channel, which anybody can listen to, or in my business channel. So, but anyway. Oh, and that's another thing. Think about it. Just on my thing, I can go deep in some metaphysical discussions and some business discussions. Boom. So every man should be look. Every man should get to the point where he definitely has that one thing that he can definitely talk about, focus on, be passionate about, as I talked about in a podcast this week. But then the more he can expand, the more power he has just to move through life. So anyway, that's all we got for today. I'll talk to you later. Peace.